What if the man you see in the mirror each morning, the individual who feels progressively more tired, a fraction stiffer in the joints, and undeniably less driven than he recalls from the year before, is not merely fading as a consequence of advancing age? What if this slow, creeping erosion of vitality is not an inevitable sentence handed down by the calendar, but the direct result of a silent, insidious sabotage orchestrated by a series of tiny, seemingly inconsequential choices you make before you have even contemplated your first cup of coffee? There exists a profound secret, a fundamental biological truth that an overwhelming 99% of men will never hear articulated by their doctors, a reality concealed within the fragile golden 60 minutes that mark the beginning of your day. This is the critical window, the pivotal crossroads where your body is either meticulously primed for a day of resilient strength, razor-sharp reflexes, and an unwavering, deep-seated confidence, or it commences a slow, quiet, and relentless process of systemic decline. For countless men navigating their 50s, 60s, and the decades beyond, the morning has tragically transformed from a symbol of renewal into a painful daily reminder of all that has been lost. The boundless energy that once propelled them through demanding days has evaporated into a persistent mist of fatigue. The ambitious drive that defined their character has softened into a passive acceptance, and the intimate, powerful connection that once felt as natural and essential as breathing now feels like a distant, faded memory. You are acutely aware that something fundamental has changed. A core piece of your identity has shifted, but you have been conditioned by society, by well-meaning but misguided medical advice, to believe it is simply an unavoidable part of getting older. But what if that widespread belief is the single greatest and most damaging lie of all? What if the master key to reclaiming your vitality, resurrecting your peak performance in all arenas of life, and restoring your commanding presence is not hidden within a prescription pill bottle or an expensive, complicated gadget, but lies dormant within a simple, elegant, and profoundly powerful routine that you can begin implementing tomorrow morning? The choice, as it is every single day, is unequivocally yours. You can continue down the well-trodden path of quiet, resigned decline, or you can seize the 1 hour that possesses the astonishing power to change absolutely everything. The great deception of men's health. For decades, an entire generation of men has been systematically sold a simple, commercially convenient, but dangerously misleading narrative. When your energy levels plummet, when your ambition wanes, and when your physical performance begins to falter, the primary culprit must be a decline in testosterone, or more simply, the unstoppable and unforgiving march of time. While these factors certainly play a contributing role in the complex tapestry of male aging, they are far from the root of the problem. They are more often symptoms than the underlying cause. A groundbreaking multi-year study emerging from the venerable halls of Harvard University uncovered a far more profound and actionable truth, a revelation that reframes the entire conversation around men's health. This research demonstrated that over 80% of performance-related issues in men are not primarily caused by hormonal deficiencies or the mere passage of years, but by a systemic breakdown in the body's most fundamental and life-sustaining system, your circulation. The real addressable issue is the phenomenon of restricted blood flow, a debilitating condition known medically as endothelial dysfunction. To truly grasp the gravity of this, imagine your vast network of blood vessels, veins, and arteries as a complex system of interconnected superhighways, responsible for transporting life itself to every cell in your body. The endothelium is the intelligent, dynamic, and exquisitely sensitive lining of these highways. When this lining is healthy, vibrant, and functioning optimally, it produces and releases a miraculous molecule called nitric oxide. This molecule acts as the master signaling agent, instructing the smooth muscles in the walls of your blood vessels to relax and widen, allowing blood to flow freely, powerfully, and without obstruction, delivering a rich supply of oxygen, essential nutrients, and vital hormonal signals to every destination they need to reach, from your brain to your muscles, to the most delicate tissues involved in intimacy. However, When this crucial lining becomes damaged, inflamed, and stiff due to lifestyle factors, it ceases to produce an adequate supply of nitric oxide. The superhighways begin to narrow, the flow of traffic becomes sluggish and congested, and biological traffic jams begin to occur throughout the entire system. This is the precise moment when the debilitating symptoms start to surface. The persistent brain fog that clouds judgment, the sluggish, dragging energy that makes every task a monumental effort, the weaker, slower reflexes that betray a loss of physical sharpness, and the deeply disappointing and confidence-shattering performance in the bedroom. The most frustrating and disheartening part of this entire scenario is that the modern medical establishment's approach often involves prescribing men pills that act as nothing more than temporary traffic cops, artificially forcing open a few select roads for a few hours at a time, managing the most obvious symptoms instead of engaging in the crucial work of actually repairing the broken, crumbling infrastructure of the roads themselves. The canary in the coal mine. Allow me to share the story of Joe, a 68-year-old retired engineer who walked into my office with a quiet, palpable shame radiating from his eyes. His posture stooped as if carrying an invisible weight. His words, when they finally came, were simple, direct, and heavy with a profound sense of resignation. "I just don't feel like me anymore." He went on to describe a life that felt increasingly two-dimensional, as if he were a ghost haunting his own existence, feeling emotionally and physically distant from his wife of 40 years and profoundly missing the spark of connection, pride, and capability that had once been the bedrock of his identity. It felt, as he so poignantly phrased it, like my body was slowly and deliberately shutting the door on me. We did not begin our journey together with a prescription pad or a series of complex and invasive treatments. We started quite simply with his morning, by focusing his attention and effort on a targeted daily routine meticulously designed to heal and restore the function of his circulatory system. The change was not just noticeable, it was staggering. After a mere 3 weeks of consistent application, Joe returned to my office, but he was a fundamentally different man. There was a healthy, vibrant color in his face where there had been a pale, sallow complexion. There was a bright, clear light in his eyes that had replaced the dull haze of despair. "I feel present again," he declared, a wide, genuine smile spreading across his face for the first time. "I feel alive. I feel capable." Joe's story is not an isolated anomaly. It is a powerful, living illustration of a critical biological fact that is too often overlooked in men's health. What happens or fails to happen in the bedroom is very often a direct and accurate reflection of what is happening within the chambers of your heart and the vast network of your blood vessels. In fact, the medical community now widely considers erectile dysfunction to be a powerful and reliable early warning sign, a biological alarm bell that often appears a full 3 to 5 years before a major, life-threatening cardiovascular event, such as a heart attack or a stroke. It is essential to think of it as the canary in the coal mine for your entire vascular system. The delicate, intricate blood vessels responsible for achieving and maintaining an erection are significantly smaller and more sensitive to damage and plaque buildup than the larger coronary arteries that feed the heart. Consequently, they are the very first to show signs of trouble when the circulatory system begins to fail. The statistics supporting this are sobering and should serve as a wake-up call. By the time a man reaches his 60s, the ability of his blood vessels to properly dilate and expand in response to stimuli can drop by more than 50%. A healthy, vibrant 20-year-old might see a 7 to 8% increase in blood flow dilation when his body needs it. By age 60, that responsive capacity can plummet to a mere 3 to 4%. This is not a minor, insignificant dip in performance. It is a biological emergency brake being slammed on your vitality and your longevity. You can't motivate a kinked hose. Herein lies the fundamental and deeply frustrating misunderstanding where so many men go tragically wrong in their quest to reclaim their vitality. They focus their energy, their money, and their hope on boosting libido or psychological desire, operating under the flawed assumption that if they just want it more, if they can just reignite the mental fire, their body will inevitably respond in kind. But desire, no matter how potent, cannot single-handedly restore a broken physical function. You can possess all the motivation in the world, a will of iron, and the most profound love for your partner. But if your circulatory system is compromised and cannot deliver the necessary torrent of blood to the required destination, absolutely nothing of consequence will happen. Picture a dedicated and courageous firefighter, poised and ready to battle a raging inferno. He is impeccably trained, physically strong, and possesses an unshakable will to succeed. But if the fire hose in his hands is kinked, twisted, blocked with sediment, or connected to a hydrant with zero water pressure, it makes no difference how determined or valiant he is. He is rendered utterly powerless to perform his essential job. This analogy precisely captures the predicament of men who endlessly chase libido-boosting supplements, exotic herbs, and other so-called aphrodisiacs. They are, in effect, trying to turn up the firefighter's motivation and courage while completely ignoring the glaringly obvious fact that his primary tool, the hose itself, is fundamentally broken. The core issue, the foundational problem that must be addressed before any other, is the mechanical integrity of the delivery system, circulation. And the most profoundly hopeful news in all of this is that your blood vessels and the endothelial cells that line them are not static structures. They are designed by nature with an incredible capacity to heal and regenerate. The endothelial cells that are responsible for releasing that crucial nitric oxide molecule can be repaired, revitalized, and coaxed back into optimal production, and they respond with astonishing speed to the right physiological stimuli, especially those introduced in the highly receptive window of the early morning. The power of the first hour. Why is the morning so uniquely powerful? Why does this specific window of time hold such immense potential for recalibration? The answer lies deep within our inherent biology. Between the hours of approximately 6 a.m. and 9 a.m., your body's natural hormonal symphony is at its absolute peak performance, a beautifully orchestrated cascade of chemical signals designed to prepare you for the demands of the day. Your body's production of testosterone, the quintessential male hormone, reaches its highest point in a 24-hour cycle. Simultaneously, cortisol, often maligned as the stress hormone, experiences a natural and healthy surge, a crucial signal that acts to awaken your metabolism, increase alertness, and mobilize energy stores. During this period, your blood vessels are biologically more responsive to stimulation, and the enzymes responsible for nitric oxide production are primed and ready for action. In short, your body is quite literally begging you to provide it with the right instructions to orchestrate a powerful, energetic, and successful day. This is not mere speculation. It is backed by rigorous scientific inquiry. Clinical studies in the field of chronobiology have repeatedly shown that the exact same health intervention, whether it be a specific form of exercise or a targeted nutritional change, can be up to 3 times more effective and yield significantly greater benefits when it is performed in the morning compared to later in the afternoon or evening. Yet, with a tragic sense of irony, this is the very window of opportunity that most men unknowingly and systematically use to sabotage their own health. Consider the all-too-common modern morning routine. The jarring sound of the alarm blares, and the very first physical move is not to stretch or hydrate, but to grab the smartphone from the nightstand. An immediate and overwhelming flood of stressful news headlines, demanding work emails, and the comparison-driven world of social media notifications instantly spikes your cortisol levels far beyond their healthy, natural rhythm, throwing your entire hormonal balance into disarray. Next, it is a rushed, frantic trip to the kitchen for a strong cup of coffee on a completely empty stomach, which can further agitate your system, followed by a sugary, inflammatory pastry, or even worse, nothing at all. You are starting the day in a state of dehydration from the night's sleep, and you are either providing your body with highly inflammatory fuel or no fuel whatsoever. Then you collapse into a chair, whether at a desk, in a car, or on a couch, where you will likely remain sedentary and compressed for hours on end. This seemingly benign chain reaction is, in reality, a slow-motion physiological disaster. Your blood, now thicker and more viscous from dehydration, is significantly harder for your heart to pump effectively. Your blood vessels, under the influence of stress hormones, constrict and tighten instead of relaxing and opening. Your testosterone levels, which should be enjoying their natural morning peak, are blunted and suppressed by the ensuing chemical chaos. And nitric oxide, the master key to healthy circulation, never receives the proper signal to activate and do its vital work. This profound hormonal and vascular crash does not simply vanish after breakfast. It follows you like a shadow throughout the entire day, relentlessly draining your energy, clouding your mental clarity, and methodically crippling the very essence of your manhood. The 4-step morning recalibration. Reclaiming your masculine vitality and rewinding your biological clock does not require a punishing hours-long gym schedule or the adoption of a Spartan monk-like lifestyle that strips all joy from your existence. It simply requires the conscious decision to make the first 30 to 60 minutes of your day work for you instead of against you. The following simple 4-step routine is meticulously designed to create a powerful compound effect, systematically jump-starting your testosterone production, maximizing your nitric oxide release, and optimizing your metabolic systems for the entire day ahead. Morning sunlight and movement. The very first and arguably most crucial step upon waking is to get your body outside for a period of 10 to 15 minutes, ideally within the first hour after you rise. If you are able to, make a conscious effort to leave your sunglasses behind. It is critically important to understand that you cannot achieve the same effect by simply looking through a window. The direct exposure of your skin and your eyes to the unfiltered light is what makes the profound biological difference. Even on a completely overcast or cloudy day, the ambient outdoor light is exponentially more powerful and contains a fuller spectrum of wavelengths than anything you can possibly get indoors. This specific morning light acts as the master switch for your brain, signaling your suprachiasmatic nucleus, the body's internal master clock. This single act sets your entire hormonal rhythm for the day, perfectly synchronizing the natural ebb and flow of testosterone, cortisol, and melatonin, which in turn governs your energy during the day and your sleep quality at night. But even more powerfully, a growing body of research demonstrates that natural sunlight, particularly UVA rays, landing on your skin directly stimulates the release of nitric oxide from stores within your skin cells into your bloodstream, immediately and measurably improving circulation throughout your entire body. To double the benefit of this step, combine your sun exposure with a gentle walk or some simple dynamic stretching. This combination sends an unmistakable signal to your entire physiological system that the day has officially begun and it is time to circulate fresh, oxygen-rich blood to every muscle, organ, and tissue, awakening them from their slumber. Diaphragmatic power breathing. Next, you will dedicate a mere 5 minutes to the practice of slow, deep, and intentional breathing. Find a comfortable position, either sitting upright in a chair with your feet flat on the floor or lying down on your back. Inhale slowly and deliberately through your nose for a steady count of 6 seconds, focusing on feeling your belly expand outward like a balloon rather than allowing your chest to rise. This engages the diaphragm, the primary muscle of respiration. At the top of the inhale, hold that breath gently for a count of 2 seconds, and then exhale slowly and completely through your mouth as if you are fogging a mirror for a count of 6 seconds. Repeating this simple rhythmic pattern for just 5 minutes is one of the most powerful ways to reset your entire nervous system. It manually shifts you out of the chronically activated sympathetic fight or flight state of stress and anxiety and into the parasympathetic rest and repair mode of recovery and healing. This action immediately helps to lower elevated blood pressure and significantly reduces the circulating levels of the stress hormone cortisol, which is a known and potent testosterone killer. More importantly, this specific type of deep diaphragmatic breathing has been scientifically shown to dramatically boost the production of nitric oxide within your nasal passages and paranasal sinuses. This nitric oxide is then carried with the breath into your lungs and absorbed into your circulation, which can help to expand and relax your blood vessels by as much as 20%, flooding your entire body with life-giving oxygen and setting the stage for optimal performance. The testosterone trigger. Now that your nervous system is calm, your hormonal environment is primed, and your blood vessels are open and receptive, it is time to send a direct, powerful signal to your body to ramp up its production of testosterone. This is not a full workout. It is a short, focused, and strategic microset of a single compound strength exercise. Compound movements, which are exercises that engage multiple large muscle groups simultaneously, have been proven to be the most effective and efficient at triggering a significant testosterone response from your endocrine system. Choose one of the following foundational exercises: bodyweight squats, classic push-ups, or step-ups onto a sturdy stair or box. You will perform just one set of 8 to 12 repetitions, moving slowly and with perfect control through the entire range of motion. The goal here is to achieve a moderate level of effort and muscular engagement, not to push to the point of exhaustion or failure. If standard push-ups are too difficult, perform them against a wall or with your hands on an elevated surface like a countertop. If bodyweight squats feel unstable, hold onto the back of a sturdy chair for balance. It is vital to remember that you are not chasing a pump or trying to build massive muscle in these few minutes. You are sending a clear, potent, and unambiguous message to your body's command center. Strength is still a priority. Maintain and build it. This simple 2 to 3 minute effort is more than enough to trigger a measurable and sustained rise in your circulating testosterone levels that will benefit you for hours to come. Fueling your hormones. The final critical step in this morning recalibration is to provide your body with the precise raw materials it needs to build testosterone and to support the ongoing health of your blood vessels. Within 2 hours of waking and after completing the first 3 steps, you must consume a breakfast that is rich in high-quality protein and healthy fats. A perfect archetypal example of such a meal would be 2 or 3 whole eggs, preferably from pasture-raised chickens, scrambled in a teaspoon of olive oil or grass-fed butter, served with a generous handful of nutrient-dense spinach, half of a ripe avocado, and a side of antioxidant-rich berries like blueberries, blackberries, or raspberries. This specific combination provides your body with high-quality, complete protein and the essential amino acids needed for muscle repair and neurotransmitter synthesis. It delivers the healthy monounsaturated fats and cholesterol from the eggs and avocado, which are the direct precursors for testosterone production. The spinach offers crucial minerals like magnesium, as well as nitrates that your body can convert into more nitric oxide. The berries provide powerful antioxidants and polyphenols that protect the delicate endothelial lining of your blood vessels from the damaging effects of oxidative stress. If you live in a location with limited sun exposure, especially during the winter months, you should seriously consider supplementing with vitamin D3, as it functions more like a crucial steroid hormone than a vitamin in the context of testosterone synthesis. For men who are clinically deficient in vitamin D, which includes a vast portion of the population, adding this one simple supplement has been shown to boost free testosterone levels by up to 25%. The return of confidence. This morning routine is not a magic trick, a gimmick, or a temporary fix. It is a fundamental biological recalibration based on the immutable principles of human physiology. James, a 63-year-old retired contractor, came to me convinced that his spark was gone for good. He was perpetually plagued by a debilitating brain fog that made simple decisions feel overwhelming and was experiencing a growing, painful distance in his relationship with his wife. After just 6 weeks of diligently following this 4-step morning protocol, he reported back with an energy and enthusiasm I had not seen in him before. His chronic afternoon energy slump had completely vanished, and he was eagerly tackling long-neglected projects around the house with a sense of purpose and motivation he had not felt in over a decade. But the most important and meaningful change, he confided, was in the renewed connection with his wife. "I feel 10 years younger," he told me with tears welling in his eyes. "But more importantly, I just feel like myself again." When you consistently and patiently give your body the right signals at the right time, a beautiful and powerful positive feedback loop begins to take hold. Your circulation improves, which in turn gives you more physical and mental energy. With more energy, you find yourself naturally inclined to move more throughout the day and make better, more nourishing food choices. You begin to sleep deeper and more restoratively. Your body, sensing this renewed state of health and balance, begins to trust itself again, and that trust manifests as even more robust blood flow, more intrinsic motivation, and a more potent and natural production of testosterone. This journey is not about desperately chasing the ghost of your 20-year-old self. It is about reclaiming control, restoring balance, and becoming the most vital, capable, and present version of the man you are today. The confidence that returns is quiet and internal at first, but it is real and unshakable. You will feel it in the way you carry yourself, in the clarity and warmth of your voice when you speak to your partner, and in the steady, knowing gaze of the man who looks back at you from the mirror. You feel connected again, deeply and authentically, to your body, to your partner, and to the rich tapestry of your life. The best years of your life do not have to be a memory relegated to the past. They can begin the very moment you decide to take your mornings back.